All right, let's talk about something that's probably been bugging a lot of you. It's this painful paradox called the high income trap, and it's the real reason why your six-figure salary can somehow leave you feeling totally, completely broke. Let's dive in.
So, you did it. You landed the promotion, you got the title, the big raise. Life should be good, right? But maybe a year later, there's this quiet dread when you check your bank account. You're working harder than ever, but you feel more financially stressed out than when you were just starting. How is that even possible? Look, the first thing you need to get is that this is not your fault. You aren't being reckless. This feeling is so common, it's actually a documented phenomenon, the high income trap. It's a system, a machine with specific rules, and it's designed to keep you running on a treadmill.
So that's what we're going to do today. We're performing a financial autopsy. We're going to uncover the 5 signs that your big career move was actually engineered to trap you. And I promise, once you see the mechanism, you will not be able to unsee it.
Okay, let's start with the forces working against you from the outside. The first 2 traps are all about where you live and, you guessed it, how you're taxed. The very first sign is something called lifestyle scaffolding. Think about it. To get that high-paying job, you probably had to move to a major city where those jobs exist, right? Well, that's the first click of the trap. And what's crazy is just how deliberate this all is. These cities, whether it's New York or San Francisco or Austin, they don't get expensive by accident. They are engineered to absorb your income. You pay what's called an address premium on literally everything: housing, food, schools. Your big raise didn't actually make you richer. It just got neutralized by the city you had to move to. And that brings us to trap number 2, which, honestly, this one might be the most frustrating part of the whole deal. You've hit what we're calling the tax wall. Here's the deal, plain and simple. Our system taxes your work way, way more harshly than it taxes ownership. Your salary, that W-2 income, gets slammed with progressive taxes that can climb up towards 50% when you add it all up. Meanwhile, wealth that comes from assets, that gets a much friendlier, lower capital gains rate. And this is where the brutal reality really sinks in. Your income is, well, it's legible, it's predictable, and it's automatically taxed before you even lay eyes on it. This makes high-earning employees the most efficient fuel source for the whole system, while an owner's wealth just keeps growing quietly and invisibly in the background. All right, let's switch gears a bit. We've talked about the external traps. Now let's move to the next 2. These are the internal ones, the pressures that come from our social circles and, frankly, our own financial habits. So, sign number 3 is known as the Duesenberry Effect. When you get that promotion, your peer group changes. You're suddenly hanging out with other executives, and without even realizing it, their lifestyle starts to look like the new normal. Before you know it, that luxury car, the fancy vacations, the designer clothes, they don't feel like choices anymore, do they? They start to feel like prerequisites, like part of the uniform for your new position. You're not being greedy. You've just internalized that in your new world, normal is just very, very expensive. The 4th sign is a really subtle mental trick. You fall victim to what's called debt architecture. This is the moment you stop thinking about the total price of something and start focusing only on one little question: can I afford the monthly payment? And here's the trap in action. Your income went up, so that comfortable monthly payment you can afford, that number went up too. So what do? You sign up for a 7-year loan on a fancy car, or a 30-year mortgage that's right at the top of your range. And just like that, boom, your future labor, your hard work for the next decade is now contractually sold to pay for stuff that's losing value every single day. So you've got the city, the taxes, the social pressure, the debt, and it all culminates in the 5th and final sign. And this is the ultimate price you pay. And that price, it's your optionality. See, we get this wrong all the time. True wealth isn't the stuff you can buy. It's the freedom to say no. It's the ability to walk away from a toxic job, to take a risk on a new idea, or to just take a year off. It is the freedom of choice. There's a breaking point. It's called the obligated income ratio. And the very moment, more than half of your take-home pay is already spoken for before the month even begins, you've lost the game. I mean, it's so easy for a high earner's budget to look just like this. That huge salary comes in, but whoops, over half of it immediately flies out the door to the mortgage, the car payments, the private school tuition. You have no wiggle room. You are one bad quarter or one missed paycheck away from the whole house of cards coming down. And that's the devastating trade-off, isn't it? It's right at the heart of this whole high-income trap. You're not actually wealthy. You just look like it. And you've paid for that appearance with your actual freedom. But okay, that's the diagnosis. It's not a life sentence. If any of this is resonating with you, if you're feeling that squeeze, there is absolutely a way to get off this treadmill. The single most powerful weapon you have, starting right now, is just awareness. The system is designed to keep you running in the dark. But once you recognize these patterns, once you see the scaffolding, the tax wall, the debt architecture for what they are, you can start to make different choices. You can start to see the exits. So the new mindset, it's simple, but it is so powerful. You have to stop playing their game. Stop optimizing your life for comfort and the appearance of richness. Start optimizing for optionality and the fact of wealth. Focus on building a life where you have the real freedom to choose. And that really leaves all of us with one final big question to chew on. Take a hard look at your own financial life. Look at the choices you're making, big and small, and ask yourself, honestly, are you building a life based on comfort, which can be taken away in a heartbeat? Or are you building a life of true freedom,